My daughter wants me to give up my cat. A heartfelt dilemma. Sitting here with Mr. Whiskers curled up on my lap, his soft purring filling the quiet room, I can't help but reflect on the conversation I had with my daughter today. For the past few months, she's been suggesting I give him up. But today she seemed more serious than ever. At 83 years old, she believes I'm approaching a point where I won't be able to take proper care of my beloved cat. Her words weigh heavily on me, but I just can't agree. Mr. Whiskers has been a constant in my life for the past 7 years, and I can't bear the thought of parting with him. I understand that my daughter is concerned, but how can I explain to her that Mr. Whiskers is not just a pet? He's family. He's been my loyal companion, offering comfort, joy, and even purpose in my day-to-day life. When I lost my husband 5 years ago, Mr. Whiskers was there, curling up beside me, silently offering the companionship I so desperately needed during that difficult time. Now, more than ever, his presence brings me peace and happiness, and I refuse to even consider giving him up. But this situation has created a deep divide between my daughter and me. Understanding my daughter's concerns. My daughter, of course, isn't suggesting this to hurt me. She's worried about the future, about what might happen if my health deteriorates and I can no longer care for Mr. Whiskers the way he deserves. She's raised legitimate points about my age, acknowledging the possibility that I may not always be able to feed him on time, clean his litter box, or ensure he receives the care and attention he needs. She fears that if something unexpected happens to me, Mr. Whiskers could end up in a shelter, a thought that frightens her. While I see her logic, what she doesn't fully grasp is how much Mr. Whiskers means to me. I'm not just stubbornly holding on to a pet for the sake of it. The emotional support he provides is priceless. Living alone can sometimes feel isolating, but having Mr. Whiskers around gives me a reason to get up each morning. He greets me with his soft meows, nudging me with his nose, reminding me that there's still warmth and love to be shared in the world. He's the company I need during quiet moments and the joy that brightens my days. My daughter seems to overlook this aspect of our relationship. To her, Mr. Whiskers might just be a cat, but to me, he's a crucial part of my emotional well-being. I've read about the benefits of pet ownership for the elderly, how having a pet can lower blood pressure, reduce stress, and combat feelings of loneliness. I experience this every day. It's more than just theory, it's my reality. Whiskers' presence helps me stay grounded, and I'm certain that parting with him would leave a deep void in my life. The fear of losing him. The thought of sending Mr. Whiskers to a shelter is unbearable. The idea of him being in a cold, unfamiliar place without the comfort of home or familiar faces is too painful to imagine. I've had him since he was a kitten, and we've built a bond that goes beyond words. He trusts me, depends on me, and offers me his unconditional love. How could I possibly betray that trust by sending him away, even if it's for what others might consider practical reasons? I've thought about the loneliness I'd feel without him. The house would suddenly seem much quieter, too quiet, and the empty spaces would remind me constantly of what I'd lost. Mr. Whiskers fills the silence not just with his purring, but with his very presence. He's a source of comfort that I can't imagine living without. To ask me to give him up feels like asking me to lose a piece of myself. Exploring compromises, a middle ground. While my daughter and I seem to be on opposite sides of this issue, I know we both want what's best for each other. That's why I believe there must be a middle ground, a solution that allows me to keep Mr. Whiskers without compromising his care or my well-being. One idea I've considered is discussing a plan with my daughter about what would happen if I could no longer take care of Mr. Whiskers. Perhaps she could agree to take him in if that day comes, ensuring that he stays within the family rather than going to a shelter. This arrangement would give both of us peace of mind. I would know that Mr. Whiskers has a safe and loving home, and my daughter would know that his future is secure. Another option could be enlisting help for the more physically demanding tasks, like cleaning the litter box or ensuring he gets his meals on time. There are services designed specifically for elderly pet owners who may need assistance with the day-to-day care of their animals. With a little help, I could continue to give Mr. Whiskers the love and attention he deserves, while also addressing my daughter's concerns. the importance of communication. Ultimately, what this situation boils down to is communication. My daughter and I need to sit down and converse openly and honestly. I need to explain to her how important Mr. Whiskers is to my emotional well-being, and she needs to express her concerns in a way that respects my feelings. We both want the same thing, to ensure that I'm healthy and that Mr. Whiskers is well cared for. If we can approach this conversation with understanding, I'm confident we can find a solution that works for both of us. Conclusion. Holding on to what matters. I can't imagine my life without Mr. Whiskers, and I don't believe I should have to. He's been with me through thick and thin, providing companionship and love that I desperately need. I understand my daughter's concerns, but I believe we can find a way to ensure that both of our needs are met without parting ways with my dear cat. Life is unpredictable, but love is constant, and my love for Mr. Whiskers is worth fighting for. I will continue to take care of him, and I'll work with my daughter to ensure that he'll always have a safe and loving home, no matter what happens in the future. Together, we'll figure out the best way forward, with love and compassion guiding us every step of the way.